All right, perfect. So let's start with the weekly review, just on what exactly to expect and what I'll be looking at, like mainly in the coming few days within this week. And if we will be looking just at few things in regards to the previous week, just to make sure where exactly we are standing as for now. So obviously we do have like a clear closing that we are getting it back inside this range. That on a daily basis. Still today we didn't close it, but I'm still expecting, like let's say, to close at somewhere at around these levels. I'm not expecting really to see a major pullbacks toward, like let's say, lower levels, like just like to close bearish, I would say. I'm not going to be talking about something else, but something extremely interesting. It's how exactly we close this 3 days candle that we are seeing it here, which if it's gonna give us like some kind of a direction, we would be favoring to see higher levels within this week. It doesn't mean that we can't get pullbacks. We're going to be discussing what exactly the optimal play that I'm seeing it at around these levels, and then we will take it from there. My expectations that we will be seeing the price running the 120 and maybe even higher at around these levels. Could it stretch toward a little bit higher levels? That's possibility. I would say a conservative target, I'll be talking about the 122, 123. That's what exactly we'll be looking at to get it, like let's say, within this week. Optimal play for what exactly to see. Optimal play for us, it's for the price to consolidate, move to the upper side, grab this liquidity, maybe after that to give us this pullback for a continuation. That's the optimal play that I'll be looking at. And if this will play out, then it's gonna be nice. If that would be the scenario, like let's say that we're gonna be getting it, but we need to see where exactly we are closing, like let's say for today. Anything about like above, like let's say the 118, 200, 300 level, then I'll be 118, I would say. I will be just like looking for this scenario to play out as an optimal play. Somewhere at around these levels, to find some resistance. Depends on how exactly we're going to be looking at around these levels. I'm not going to be interested in shorting BTC, but I'll be looking for something maybe ETH by that time to look for some kind of shorts, like let's say to lower levels on ETH. And yeah, that would be the play that if we're going to be looking, like let's say to get it with such a scenario, come take the highs, then find some kind of resistance at around these levels, 120, 121, get the pullback, move to the upper side. And if this will play out as an example, Monday, Tuesday, that will be an optimal play for us, like let's say to look at it in this way, looking at the 3 days time frame, assuming that as an example, we're going to be pushing, which this candle is going to be closing by today. So if we are looking at it, these levels, we are looking for it, like let's say to push even a little bit higher. And then the next candle, you'll be looking for something like this, maybe a little bit of pullback, and then after that, continuation. Can it pull back to lower levels? It can, but I'm not going to be favoring it, like let's say to happen. If depends definitely on Monday and what exactly we will be getting, like let's say from Asia, upon that we can decide the direction. But hopefully if we're going to be opening, like let's say Asia at any stage between the low and the high to be at around these levels, then we're going to figure out what exactly could be the direction if we're going to be trading like comfortably at around these levels and in this range. If you're going to manage, like let's say 1 to 2 trades inside this area, it's a 5% move. It's a decent move that we can capture it on BTC. Now, lower time frame, I still do believe that they're going to keep just like trapping the short with the way how exactly the price is moving. And we'll be looking for the place for continuation to clear this out. If you are not in a long on BTC, I'll wait for Monday. No, I'll wait for Monday. Monday could give us something. Asia could give us something. I'm not gonna rule this pullback, which it might happen, like let's say after grabbing the liquidity, but I'm gonna wait for Monday, which is Just to remind you with something, all you need to remember is what exactly I dropped for you at around these levels when we said that you need to see the price just trading at around these levels. That's what we want. We're not going to be bothering ourselves with the choppiness that it's going to come here. Once we get a confirmation, then this is where you get on board. You forget the 110, you forget the 112, you forget anything. You just like you have one level that you need to trade around it, and then that time you forget the one that it's under it. All right. So that's what you need really to pay attention to it and to take it into consideration. This is an optimal play if we're going to get this level in 2 days period, means that if this it's going to still push and we face some kind of a resistance at around these levels, and if you will be in longs or you are in longs from lower levels, then you need to consider also taking more profits approaching the 120, 121. I am expecting, like, let's say, some kind of a pullback from the 120, 121. This pullback, it has two scenarios. One of them, by the way, we don't get invalidated till we're going to lose, like, let's say, the 115. So the 115, 500 is still on the table, means that this could play out in something like this and the continuation, or this also could be on the table. Okay, but by that time, we want to see what exactly is going to happen here, and the main play remains at around these levels. I wouldn't prefer this one, because by that time you are losing the level that you get, and you gain the acceptance inside it. We will see how exactly it's going to play out. Logically speaking, you might see some kind of a resistance. Once you're going to sweep these two, some kind of a rejection, actually. Once you're going to sweep this, these two liquidities, but it shouldn't be something major. That's the whole play. It shouldn't be something major. You said you wouldn't prefer the first scenario. What do you mean? Which scenario? I wouldn't prefer, because in that time, like, I want to trade. I want to trade toward lower levels. I don't want it to pull back now. I want to trade toward lower levels, means that I'll be aiming for the short to trade toward lower levels. That's the whole thing, which is, again, if it's going to push to the upper side, we will get on board with it. If we will take the highs or maybe to come to this area, I want to trade toward lower levels. That's the whole thing. If you think that this is done and we're going to just skyrocket, then that's up to you. But I want to trade toward lower levels. That's the whole play. So we'll see how exactly it's going to play out. But for the time being, I'll be just getting on board on this one, and we will take it from there. We will see what's exactly it's going to be happening at around these levels. Could this be really a decent run? And you're just going to keep moving, like, let's say, to the upper side? Very possible, but time will tell. Not going to be really rushing, like, let's say, anything now to look at it. Still, like, if I would be looking at this just as a play, still it has a room, especially that we just now started gaining acceptance. It has a room to come to the 120, 128. If it's gonna come to the 128, that's for me, like, let's say, the optimal scenario to start looking for some kind of shorts, or if I'm gonna see some kind of a major weakness at somewhere at around these levels, which is it's a normal deviation back into the range, trade it all the way down to the bottom of the range, somewhere at around these levels. Then if there will be a continuation, we can get a continuation. So if this is going to squeeze, we just get on board with it, come back, hold at around these levels, trade toward higher levels, and that would be a good one and a good play. But still, it's too early before getting, like, let's say, into Monday. That's the whole part. Definitely, I wouldn't prefer, like, let's say, a retest to this area to be fast for now. If it's gonna happen and we're gonna hold, then fine. But I wouldn't prefer just on this one to be retested that fast. I want just to grab more of a liquidity from here, then get the pullback, then fine. You just like would just, like, feel more comfortable into this one, just to play out. But still, it's very valid if it's gonna come to the 117, 100, which is, it's very valid, like, let's say, to still look for the longs at any of these pullbacks. So yeah, that's a play. And as I said, not much, like, let's say, get onboarded on this move to the upper side. Still, majority of the people, they are looking for some kind of shorts. Now for ETH for this week, I still think, like, we can come a little bit higher before we're gonna start be looking, like, let's say, to lower levels. So a 4,500, 4,600 region, it's a decent one. Pull back to this area into this cluster, small deviation here, that will be optimal for ETH. somewhere at the 4,400, 4,050 level. That would be nice as a pullback into this this cluster reclaim. Then that would be a play for a continuation up. Now looking also at something in regards to ETH, in regards to SOL. I wish, like, let's say within a day or two, we can get something like this on SOL ETH. If, as an example, we're going to get this pullback, and if SOL is going to come here, logically speaking, it can give us a bounce where SOL is going to outperform ETH, and then after that to get a continuation to the drop to the downside. It's very possible, okay? But at this area, it's going to be worth, like, let's say, looking at it where exactly SOL. I don't know why you're saying that it looks like it's bottoming. It's just a 4 hours candle, but you don't have anything like, let's say, for a daily time frame. So you can't say, like, let's say, you can't just rely on a 4 hours time frame candle to look for it, like, let's say, to be bottoming. You get it before on a 4 hours time frame. You need just like something like really more. You need to base out. That's the whole thing. You need to base out. You need just like a confirmation on a reversal for a daily, weekly, and high time frame, because this is an aggressive downtrend. When you get an aggressive downtrend, you would be expecting, like, let's say, a move to happen in some kind of a V-shaped recovery, but you need a confirmation to happen on a high time frame. Okay, talking about this. And if we would be looking, like, let's say, for SOL to play out on this play, I think more or less this will play a major area for SOL to hold it. And as long as we are holding this area, I would say the lowest for it with some kind of a pullback, it's the 173. So I really don't want to see, like, let's say, SOL losing the 173, 175 level. And I think it's an open trade toward this. That's a whole play. Or maybe even if it's going to have really a steam to there, it's going to be a 2-6. Now, it all depends on what we do here. So to clear one point, and that's for you, AT. As for now, as long as I'm not gaining major acceptance above this level, this is a major play for SOL that I think it's going to play out, unless definitely we will just keep skyrocketing from here. Okay? Any acceptance above this, then you do have the 260 to come on the table and the 250 to come on the table. That's all. So can you get on board with light size as long as we are holding the 173? Yeah, you can do that. And upon that, it depends on what exactly we will do here. Then you will decide what could be the next play. That's something. So you can get it, and you can just like be extremely and you will be fully aware of it. And yeah, I think that will be a decent one and a decent play. Now, if there will be any kind of a rotation, assuming that there will be a rotation, which is, I really don't know if there's going to be a rotation into alts or there's not going to be a rotation into alts. But if ETH dominance reaching these areas, logically speaking, we should see some kind of a pullback on ETH dominance. Like, I mean, you're going to keep just, just moving up nonstop. It doesn't make sense. As for now, with the way how exactly it moved, this can give you a little bit of a move to the upper side, but I'm expecting a pullback to come. And if ETH dominance is going to go to the downside, then this means alts, they're going to gain, like they're going to gain strength against ETH. So we'll be expecting this to happen before this it's going to start returning to the upper side. So that's a play. I don't want to just like, to get stuck to the idea of us coming to these levels. I will welcome it. I wouldn't have an issue with it. We will trade it if that would be the scenario and if that would be the case. But yeah, expectations, if let's say we will run the 123, we'll be expecting SOL to come to visit these areas at these levels. And if any of like sweep also of these highs, deviation back into the range, then you will be running it as just like a normal range bound environment, and that's all. Okay. If it's gonna push and if it's gonna reclaim, if it's gonna continue up, then you will come all the way up, like let's say between these two blue lines, and you will be having a full new range to come at around these levels. I don't know if this will create any hype or anything, but the new Solana phones are being delivered to customers in the next. I mean, no, it's not. It's not that that important. I mean, what does it mean? Like, let's say Solana funds. No, just forget about this, these news, and just like stick to what exactly you do have on the chart, and that's all. This was like a nice move to the upper side that we got it here. 173 is just like the range that you do have it, 173 to 206. That's the range that you do have it. Acceptance above the 173, it was nice. And still the major area, it comes exactly at around these levels. So this can reject, you know, but the grinding into this, and then if there will be a release for a move, then it's going to be something that we might get on board on it. Same thing, by the way, that also we will be monitoring when Asia it's going to start, just seeing where exactly we are standing at these levels. I really didn't see anything special when it's coming, like, let's say, to altcoins. For me, I mean, I would never trade it for a play. I would never trade it on leverage. Uh, I hate the way how exactly it's forming. We might get on board above the 195 again, which is, if you guys remember, that was the place that we got it on JTO. Under the 195, I don't have a business in it. Under the 195, I will be expecting these lows to be taken out, because for me, this is like a crash price action and the bearish price action. So yeah, we'll see how exactly uh, it's gonna bring us from there. So long on Sol from here, wait for the 173. You're gonna align it with Monday. You're gonna keep asking me long BTC from here, long Sol from here. You're gonna wait for Monday to open, and up and that you're gonna align the plays. So either you're gonna be entering or you're not gonna be entering. That's the whole play. But there is no entry at these levels. There is no entry for me at these levels. I need to start Monday. Entries were like yesterday from these plays, and at these levels like 4 a.m. I don't know really where Sol it was. 4 a.m. I mean, it wasn't really at any stage. It's still at the same exact area. Optimal play for this one. I don't see anything like, let's say, major bearish, but optimal play, if this will play out, that will be optimal. A little bit of a pullback toward the 173, 175, that will be looking good. I wouldn't be reviewing any other assets, to be honest with you, on altcoins. I'm not interested at all. If you want to trade leverage, you can just like trade it normally on leverage, and that's all. But yeah, nothing like for TRB or not TRB, if you just like see it as a quick review, but I wouldn't be giving any kind of a trade on it or anything. I mean, it's a Ponzi, so you'll be expecting something to come on it, but there is nothing special on it. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, if it's gonna start clearing and coming back above these levels, then fine. But as long as it's under it, then you have nothing for here. So yeah, not sure what exactly you are seeing it special on it. EURUSD optimal play. If we get this pullback, sweep of these levels into Monday, reclaim, continuation, that will be optimal. If we're gonna come and we're gonna start clearing this area, like let's say to the upper side, same thing that you'll be expecting it to be on GBPUSD. GBPUSD is looking much better than EURUSD, but yeah, a little bit of a pullback. Same thing, open Monday. If acceptance above this, then we will be looking for these levels to be taken out. We will be looking for a move to the upper side. We wait for Monday just to give us, like, let's say, a direction. I would love to get definitely a nice pullback to these levels before a continuation, but if it's not going to happen, then fine, no issue at all. And remember, it's the same textbook play. All you need to do is just to trade into the direction of what exactly you are getting it. Not going to keep just like, clearing it. That was the play that I advised you guys for it last week. That don't look for the short, don't bother yourself for the short. Wait for the reclaim, trade it to the upper side. That's your first level. You saw a little bit of a resistance here. It doesn't mean that you have to short it blindly. There was nothing for you to short it. Move up, consolidation sideways, maybe a little bit of a quick sweep and the move and the reclaim. Above this, then happy days, you trade it as a normal range trade for this one, and you'll be looking for higher levels to come on GBPUSD. But that's what exactly you'll be looking. Now, need to monitor what exactly NASDAQ is going to be doing. My optimal place to see NASDAQ this coming week to trade at around these levels. That will be epic if we're going to start coming and trading toward this level. That will be the direction that I'll be looking at it. Everything is looking fine, to be honest with you, on NASDAQ. That's a 3 days time frame. We will see where exactly it's going to be closing, because the closing it's going to be with the market open for the 3 days. Let's assume that we opened with the gap up in around 3 hours, then you will be looking for a little bit higher levels, like let's say two. Yeah, I mean, I feel too comfortable looking at this. Is there a possibility? Is there a possibility for this to play out as a deviation and then come back to take these levels? It is. I wouldn't favor it. Price is looking nice, strong. Shorts that they aired at around these levels, which there is a decent amount of shorts here. This move to the downside, it wasn't really with a big sell volume, so I'm still feeling comfortable that this should continue to the upper side. Finally, got BTCC account set up, and I'll be looking to trade NASDAQ if you show a trade is ready. If not, I'll wait. Just make sure that you are getting on board on the trades that we are dropping it on daily basis, and it's the same exact play. If I get this, I'll look for this. If I get this, I'll look for this. If I get this, I'll look for this. Once we will get the blood during the week into these kind of plays, how many times it played with us on NASDAQ, how many times I gave you, like, let's say, the setups on it. If our direction is to this, then we welcome the pullbacks if it's going to happen. Optimal play, if I'll be looking at this, and I want really, like, let's say, to see something major happening, let's assume, just the assumption. I'm not going to be putting, like, let's say, a lot of hopes on this one. Just assuming we take the highs from here, get the pullback to somewhere at around these levels, reclaim, take one more move, like let's say to the upper side from here to here without taking these lows. Without taking these lows. That's the difference. I don't want these lows to be taken out. That will be a decent, another swing trade. I'm still fully loaded in the trade. I don't know where exactly we're going to be opening, but I do have like a decent play into this one. And still I'll be looking like, let's say for this week to trade towards the 24,300, 24,400 region. Hopefully we're going to complete this one. Then by that time, we will reevaluate everything that we do have in regards to the market and where exactly we are standing. Too choppy. I don't have really a clear direction for this one, but with the way how exactly they are holding this, it's kind of delusional that if in case they opened at around these levels, maybe some sweep of liquidity to the downside, move into continuation, take these highs, maybe to run the highs one more time. Some kind of a bias for, like, let's say high levels on gold, and that's absolutely normal because the whole move that I'm expecting it's with the way how exactly Dixie is moving, and I think still Dixie would give us something like this to play out with it to the downside. And if this will play out, then by that time we are looking for gold, NASDAQ, crypto market also to go to the upper side against the Dixie, and we will see how exactly things it's going to unfold from there. Now, in regards to the last part, which will be, I think this should start rolling down with this play, especially after this rejection. I think it's going to start rolling down. So we do have a little bit of a space to the downside. We do have a little bit of a space to the downside. If in case this will play out and we start coming to these levels, then you know what exactly to do by that time. We might sweep this level and then after that to get a bounce from it. It's very possible. Optimal play for this one. I don't know if we already, let me just check if we took the highs here. Yeah, we took the highs, so we cannot like really apply something there. But if this one would, maybe I'll also give it like a little bit of a room to the downside. I think this one could give us something like this, reaching this area. I think that will be the side where exactly I'll be looking for maybe to come deviate at these levels back into the range. Every single thing in the market, you will be looking at it like, let's say for a decent bounce. If it's gonna come, then that would be fine. In terms of timing also, I think that's something that would be a nice play if we're gonna get something like this. But it's been really quite decent period if that would happen. Yeah, it's been a decent period. So yeah, that would be a nice play. If that would be the case, then we will get this move up then fully aligned with the Fed pivot, and everyone is just like looking for bullish things to happen. And as I said, if we're gonna get this move and we're gonna start pushing to the upper side, I will be looking definitely for some kind of hedge shorts, because an optimal play for me to be to get it, it's just to see everyone where exactly they are max bullish. Don't be greedy. That's my advice to you. The same way of how exactly I advise the guys from our family members. If you're not taking profits at these levels, then you are not really you don't really deserve to see higher levels. That's the whole thing. And if you are banking on the market to show you just higher levels blindly without taking a responsibility that the market can give you a decent pullback where you can get on board one more time into this, then honestly, I don't know what exactly you are doing. Absolutely, it's looking bullish, but of how bullish it is, remind yourself with how bullish things were till you start taking it all the way to the downside. My optimal play on this one is definitely in the coming few days, weeks, to see it coming back at these levels, reclaim, move to higher levels, and that will be an optimal play all across the board to play out around these levels. So that's the play that I do have it on ETH. To the moon, I'm inviting my friend. You will fire him same day. Moon boy to the extreme, no matter what happened. Yeah, just don't invite him. If something doesn't, it doesn't fit him where exactly we have. So yeah, don't do that. But that's literally the play. That's what I'll be looking at it in the coming few days and in the coming few weeks. Interestingly, that we do have something here that it might play out with the weekly open, but we need to see how exactly it's gonna play out, just for the sake of us started getting acceptance again back up above the 1.117 with a weekly closing, right? So if in case we got some kind of a pullback to somewhere at around these levels, if there will be a pullback and it will be aligned with BTC, then we might get on board into this Ponzi just to play the range to somewhere at around the 2.1 region, and we will take it from there. There's just so much I can't play. So yeah. That's all over. You need to align altcoins with BTC move this week. I think if there will be something that is going to make a move for this week, it has to be BTC. It has to be BTC. And yeah, I think this has a little bit of a room to do some things. Means that still can do this before moving and getting back into the range. If you're going to be playing the range, then this is the optimal play for a continuation to lower levels. And I think this would set some kind of a bottom for BTC dominance before making a major moves. And that's the whole play. If we're getting the move to the upper side and BTC dominance started moving to the upper side and BTC sustained itself, the 123, and you started seeing BTC dominance is just moving to the downside, BTC ranging, that will bring alts to the upper side. We get the move, we get the continuation. This drop could happen before BTC, like let's say, being ready to start reversing, and this I think would be a decent play to the downside. Don't look for what exactly people they are talking about, that BTC dominance it's gonna roll down without the confirmation on a very high time frame. As for now, if I will be looking at everything on high time frame on BTC dominance, so just for you to understand, weekly basis, did we really get anything like, let's say, that it's an extreme bearish? Honestly, no, you didn't, because that drop, it's still, as for now, nothing bearish, because it depends on how we're going to be, dealing with this range. As long as BTC dominance, it's holding above the 58.65, don't be too, don't put a lot of hopes on altcoins that you're going to be having an alt season. Optimal play for me is to get a decent pullback before the Fed pivot with a bullish interest rate cuts. And then after that, everything is just moving to the upper side. And this pullback, I do expect that maybe no one is going to be reading it in a right way. Means I can welcome a pullback all the way to the downside to something like this. Just for you to understand, let's assume we move to this, or maybe we move to this. I'll be welcoming something like this. I have no issue with it. And this is where exactly, oh no, we are retesting just this block. Buy it. It's by the dip opportunity. Oh, it's by the dip opportunity. Oh, 110, no way that we're going to be using. It's just a retest, break of a trend line, coming back to retest it. Everything is bullish, and then drop to the downside. And then where exactly this is where, oh, confirmed bear market. We lost all everything. And then you get something like this. There is something in my mind that it might play out in this way. I wouldn't be putting a lot of hopes on it, but that would be something optimal if it's going to play out, and I will welcome it all day long. Because for me, if there is something to pay attention to it, would be at some stage visit these areas, rip it to the upper side, extreme haul, drop, drop, drop into third quarter, run to the upper side, put the top for the cycle, and then after that maybe could get something like this. I'm not bothered by looking at like where exactly we could top or what could be what could happen, but it's something as a scenario that I'm putting it in my mind that I would like to see it happening. It doesn't mean that it has to happen, but I would like to see it happening. That's the whole thing. And yeah, that's it. Don't have really much to talk about it. If you guys have anything special to look at it, let me know. If not, and I do believe that we covered everything for what to expect. Same as last week. You'll be getting a little bit off, just favoring higher levels to come to the upper side. If we get a retracement, we'll take BTC. So good. Or if in case you got a trigger on Monday, then just take it because you don't have to keep waiting. The same thing of what exactly I told you today. You don't want to be waiting as long as you are playing it in a smart way. You don't put your house on mortgage for a trade, then you're going to be doing fine. So that's all, guys. Nothing really more than this. Started looking interesting. I want to play it above the 3.9. Still, I'm a little bit concerned. We will see what exactly Monday it's going to give us, and that we can take it from there. That's all from my side, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And yeah, we'll catch up with you by tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye.